welcome to a new vlog and trip report. Today we're traveling on the railway line Günzburg-Mindelheim. We're traveling on this line on the full length from Günzburg to Mindelheim, and here on the map you can see our route today, and we can take a closer look at the route here in the animation. So we're starting in Günzburg, and then we have stops in Wasserburg, Kleinkötz, Hochwang, Ichenhausen, Elzey, Neuburg, Hirschfelden, Bildenhausen, Krumbach, Krumbach-Schule, Niederraunau, Aletshausen, Haupelshofen, Loppenhausen, Breitenbrunn, Weilbach, Pfaffenhausen, Hausen, Nassenbeuren, and finally Mindelheim. So as you can see, there are a lot of stops, and that's basically because there is a station in every village that the railway line is going through. That used to be the standard in Germany, but over the years on most railway lines the smaller stops were closed, but here on this line they all remained in service until today. We're starting the video in Adelsried, where we stayed at the Park Hotel Schmidt, which I showed to you in my last video, and Adelsried was located at the Weldenbahn, the Welden Railway, the railway line between Augsburg and Welden, which is nowadays closed, so we took the car to Günzburg, and here we can see the arrival of my train today. So as you can see, my train today is a RegioShuttle of Deutsche Bahn. It comes in a 2+1 or 2+0 configuration, however we want to call it. On the left side of the train there are airline style seats and base of 4, and on the right side there are folding chairs, so the right side of the train can also be used as a multi-purpose area. The seats are very comfortable, they're very soft and nice, so it's gonna be a very comfortable train ride. Here we are leaving the station of Günzburg on the railway line between Ulm and Augsburg, and shortly after leaving the station we're crossing the river Günz for the first time, and then we can listen to the sound of the RegioShuttle and to the sound of the microphone. Later on we will listen to the microphone once again, and you will realize that in the beginning they used the lower pitched sound of the microphone, and later on they used both and the higher pitched tone of the microphone. I don't know why that is, maybe it was just because of different drivers, but if you know, let me know in the comments. In the beginning we are following the river Günz until Ichenhausen, then we are gaining some altitude because we are changing from the Günz valley into the Kammel valley, and between those valleys there is a small hill we have to get across, therefore we are gaining some altitude now, with the highest point close to the station of Elzey. The station of Elzey is nowhere near Elzey, it's quite far away from the city center, and that's because here we already have to gain some altitude to change the valley, but still Elzey got a station which is still in use nowadays. As I've mentioned, that's one of the interesting parts of this railway line, even the smaller stations are still in use, and there's not a single station that has been closed. Here we are reaching Ichenhausen, where we can meet an oncoming train, as otherwise this railway line is a single track railway line, and after Ichenhausen, as I've mentioned, we're gaining some more altitude to change the valley. We're now heading to the Kammel Valley, following the river Kammel. Before that we are reaching Elzey, and then we're heading back down into the Kammel Valley. Our train consists of 2 RegioShuttles, but one of the RegioShuttles is only going to Krumbach, and the other one, the one that I'm in, is then continuing on to Mindelheim. This railway line really feels like traveling back in time, not only because all the stations are still in use, but also because most of the railway crossings do not have barriers, so the train is slowing down or has to use the microphone, which we can hear now once again. But even with the use of the microphone and slowing down, due to the high amount of level crossings without barriers, there are quite a few accidents here on this railway line. We're now in the Kammel Valley. First stop here is Neuburg an der Kammel. Then we have some further smaller stops before reaching the biggest stop on the line at Krumbach in Schwaben. There we are meeting an oncoming train once again, and one of the two regio shuttles is staying here in Krumbach to be used for a service later on when there are a lot of children coming from school. But also on my train now there were a lot of kids, so the train got pretty busy after Krumbach and then slowly getting more and more empty again with each stop in the smaller villages. As we're stopping in all villages on the line, this train is also used by a lot of children to go to and from school. At the stop of Weilbach, we are then leaving the river Kammel and continue on to Pfaffenhausen, and shortly after Pfaffenhausen we are reaching the river Mindel, which we are then following all the way to Mindelheim. As we are following different rivers, the railway line also got different names. It's called Mindel Valley Railway, it's called Kammel Valley Railway, or Mittelschwaben Railway. Mittelschwaben means Middle Swabia, which is the area that we are in right now, and in the meantime we're slowly approaching Pfaffenhausen. There used to be a railway line between Pfaffenhausen and Kirchheim, but it's not existing anymore. Here we are approaching Pfaffenhausen, where we could meet another oncoming train before then continuing on to Mindelheim. This railway line was built in 1892, at least the part between Günzburg and Krumbach. The part between Mindelheim and Pfaffenhausen, as part of the railway line to Kirchheim, was opened in 1909, and the connection between Krumbach and Pfaffenhausen was finished in 1910.
My speech is free. My speech is free. And that's what it will always be. That's what it will always be.
We're now reaching the railway line Buchloe-Memmingen, which marks the end of our journey because now we are approaching the station of Mindelheim, where I am leaving the train and continuing on to Memmingen, where the next video will start. It was a fantastic journey that felt a bit like traveling back in time. It was a very comfortable journey due to the comfortable seats of the Regio Shuttle, and the landscape is also very beautiful. So it was a fantastic and comfortable journey, and I hope you enjoyed it, because now we're coming to the end of this video. Here you can see when the next one will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in my next video then.